Hey, Casey, anybody listening live? If you're with us, please put in the comments hello. And I'm excited that you're here tonight. And I am excited because I have a co-host tonight and I'm excited and I'm going to introduce him right now. Bring him on now. Hey, Matt.
Hi, Sandy. Good
nice
evening.
To see you. Good evening. I'm so glad you're here.
Glad to be here. This is exciting. First time streaming with Sandy Archer. What? What?
All right. If you're here and I see there's 10 viewers, I want you to post in the comments, say hello, because we want to know that you're here. So, Matt, what's been going on? I see you have like little parentheses around your name. I'm sad. I don't have any parentheses.
I paid extra for the parentheses.
I need some parentheses.
I'm 50 years
tell
old.
us about your parentheses.
I just learned how to spell parentheses. I was typing and I wanted to spell out the word and the spell checker didn't come up. I'm like, what's wrong with my spell checker? I'm like, I spelled it correctly.
Oh, no. That's awesome. Well, hey, we got some people in the house. Sha-la-la-la. I almost forgot one la, but I did it right? Sha-la-la-la-la Productions. I think I know who that is. Who is
Robert
that?
Lee, my co-host on Wednesdays.
Yes,
First three
Robert
Wednesdays
Lee.
we do a
And then
show.
we have Jax. Hey, Jax. Yay.
Hi,
We're watching in the fun house. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, come
what
on.
an honor. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Well, yeah,
So,
I have a YouTube channel. It's called All Things YouTube.
Things
I have several YouTube channels. People like to.
I love that.
People, do you want one? I'll send you one.
Please send me one. Yes.
Drop me a postal thing.
I will do it.
And yeah, so I have many passions. So I have all kinds of YouTube channels. People say I've got 17 channels. I really don't. I have a handful. But
I love your awesome Wood Things channel. Hey, guess who's up here? Love Audio Productions.
We're reaching England. He's over in England.
We do need a DJ, don't we? We need a DJ.
Paul's the man.
Come on, Paul. I'll send you the link. Be our DJ.
Rich Vibes, my new friend. Have you met Rich Vibes? He's another friend. In England.
Did. I just met him tonight. Actually, I saw him on New Year's Eve, and I did not know it was him until he said I did on New Year's Eve. Did you watch that?
I didn't watch the New Year's Eve show. I'm a recent viewer of Rich Vibes, but yeah, no, he's good. I particularly like the platform because you can use commercial music and the platform takes the money that you pay to be a creator and pays the artist. So there's no takedown notices from the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So
yeah, the who?
Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
I want you to say that again.
DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. DMCA, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a technology geek. Do you know I love technology?
I think you do. And I've gotten shut down a couple times already. Facebook said, nope, not your music, not your rights. You're not allowed. And I'm like, but it's just the eye of the tiger. Gosh, I love it. I said who played it, Survivor. And they shut me down.
Anyone who's talking about copyright and uses the word just in their sentence It's like there is no just. It's like
There's no
it's a
just.
no-go. There are no parameters to do it right. Stay away from copyrighted music. It's a bag of hurt.
Did y'all notice that we have the same sign, kind of? Mine has lights, though. Does yours have lights?
Only white.
Oh,
It's on.
mine changes colors.
Yeah. No, see, I didn't pay for the premium package. I got just the white stuff.
Sorry, mine was a gift from
But
down under.
I am driving it with the micro USB cable rather than the batteries. Like
I am too,
I'm
by
not
the
a
way.
freak. You know, I don't use batteries if I don't have
I don't either. So it is. But this thing has batteries. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, those little LEDs, they're not going to draw much power.
So Matt, tell me, okay. So I have a couple of YouTube channels, including this one. So what are people looking for? Are they typing in the keyword, "Hey, I want to see something on this"? I mean, how are you getting found? How are your videos getting found?
Well, of course you do marketing off of YouTube to get eyeballs onto your videos that you publish. But it sounded like the beginning of that sentence was, how do people find you on the platform? And you hinted at the answer. People do searches. They search for what they want to see on YouTube. And if your video has relevance, see, that's the key word, relevance.
Relevance.
Then it's a contender to be shown to the person typing in the search query. Relevance is only part of the equation. You got to have more than relevance in order to be placed in front of those eyeballs, either in search results or on YouTube. Up next, did you ever watch a video and then the video ends and then there's 9 videos on the screen where you can potentially click, or 6 or something like that?
Yeah.
That's another area where they could place your video. Or if you go to the homepage, you'll see the recommended shelf. They could put it. So there's all different places they could surface your video. YouTube can to put it in there. And the first piece is, does YouTube think that the video you have is relevant to the search term? And then it uses a few other metrics to really cement YouTube's best guess as if it's worthy of placing in front of the user. And that's called an impression. Anytime a user of YouTube sees your video on the interface, that's an impression because they saw it. It counts as an impression. What you got to do is get them to click. And in addition to relevance, YouTube monitors your click-through rate and your average view duration. So click-through rate is the percentage of times people have clicked the video that they've seen. So it's between the impression and how many times they've actually clicked it, and it's a percentage. So if you have 100 video, if your video is on the interface in front of 100 different people, and 10 of those people clicked it, you have a 10% click-through rate.
Okay.
That's click-through rate. And also, YouTube looks at how many people are watching your video the whole way through. And it knows if you have a 10-minute video, let's use 10s because 10s is easy. And they watch 5 minutes, on average, that's a 50% average view duration. Because not everyone watches a video from beginning to end. Don't you jump off sometimes in the middle or towards the end?
I do.
So if your video is relevant and you have a high click-through rate, higher than 8%, and simultaneously a high average view duration of 50% or higher. See, when you get 8% and 50% on those two metrics, and there's relevant content in your video based on, then you get in front of that viewer. That's the secret to YouTube. Those 3 things are how you.
He just gave you secrets, people. Did you listen?
That's it.
If you didn't, you'll have to rewind. Is it called rewind on YouTube?
Yeah. You can rewind. You can
rewind.
You can pick up the playhead and scrub it. Well,
What's it called? Like there's all these these things.
I'm a tech nerd, but I've been given high praise throughout my career because I can do geek to English translations really well.
Well,
Like I
there you
can
go.
say it in plain English, but I can talk the geek talk, baby.
Don't
Did you know I was invited to a Google office to attend an all-day meeting?
Ooh,
They wanted me to come to their office and
that's
and
impressive.
yeah, because I was on the W3C. Do you know what that is? The
No?
World Wide Web Consortium.
Oh,
See, they make things called HTML. Do you know what HTML
I
is?
do know what
Yeah.
HTML is.
Did you know there are people that figure out the rules of HTML and HTML5 and CSS and
Yes.
all of the technology? I ran in the EPUB circles. So there was a standard called EPUB for digital books. They have their own file format. There's a bunch of super intelligent nerds that get around in this worldwide consortium governed by the W3C, and they figure out how to write the specification so all browsers on all computers can load a web page and it will all look the same. People have to figure that doesn't happen by accident. And I
Mind
was
blown.
running in those circles. And so, yeah, I know
I
all about
didn't
the
know
YouTube
any of that.
and the interwebs. Yeah, I'm all up in there.
All I knew is I go click, point, play. That's it.
Well,
That's all I wanted. Well, that's all I've wanted to know, right? I
rest
mean,
rest assured, there are teams, dozens and dozens of geeks that belabor the technology to make all of that work. I was working on
yes.
a thing for cross references. They want to make cross references interoperable among all different systems. You know, where you have a footnote and you click a footnote and it takes you kind of like a
Right.
Wikipedia.
Yep.
Like I was gearing up on that committee, and then
Oh.
I got pulled off of it. But this is the things people think about to try and solve on the internet. I love it. I love it.
And guess what? I don't know anything about it. I'm okay with that. I will stay in my lane. Oh,
People say,
to
"Oh, you're on the W3C." Well, my browser was acting funny. Like what? I'm like, we're not a troubleshooter. We're working on the architecture underneath the web. Like this is
that's right.
like
The coding and the yes, all
go to
of
Best
that.
Buy. That's how you,
So that's not what you do. So you do the coding piece, like behind the scenes kind of
I
thing.
was doing it for a while because I worked for a book publisher, and
Okay.
and as a book publisher, we wanted to have influence over the ebook file format.
Okay.
Because book publishers want, and the type of publishing I was in is education publishing. So we wanted
Mhm.
to add all these cool features that are built for lessons and classes. And like we wanted to
Right.
kind of, because when you think of digital books, you think of like the romance novel where it's just paragraphs, chapters, and then the
Right.
content, and then a table of contents, and maybe, simple. Like we wanted to beef that sucker up. So they're like, who's the smartest guy at our company that can whip this global organization of geniuses into shape and to demand the technology that, and they have pointed me to the task. So I was the
Nice.
official rep from my company on the W3C. And the one time they were like, well, we want to meet somewhere central in the world, which is ridiculous because there is no central part of the world. But we had people from Japan and from India and from Europe and from
Uh-huh.
Africa. And and someone said, well, how about the West Coast in California? And the one guy from Google says, well, I can get a conference room at Google. And I quick tried to come off mute. I was like, I agree with Garth. We should go to Google in California. And everyone said, sure, why not? I said to my boss, I'm like, they're going to have a meeting. It needs to be in person. And it's in California. Can I go? And he says, well, I'll have to get that approved. A couple of days later, says, yeah, it's approved. I'm like, I'm going to California. So
Oh, that's awesome.
they flew me to Irvine, California. And
So you were in that Google place like they had in that movie with
I tell you what.
the two guys. What was the name of that movie?
Oh, I forget what that was called.
It was about them working at Google.
Yeah, yeah.
It was funny.
Do you want to hear a freaky story? So
Well,
we
it was
get there,
yeah.
and now this isn't Irvine. This isn't in Mountain View. Mountain View's a whole campus, and it's
Oh,
obvious.
okay.
It's obvious Google. So this was just a
Okay.
building in another city in California, and we go there. We see Google on the building. We're like, okay, that's it. We go in the building, and it's abandoned. Like, they're tearing down the drywall. And we're like, oh my God. Here, they moved to the adjacent building. They have no signage anywhere. You would never know it was Google. And you go in, and they did this on purpose. You go into the lobby, and it's a nice lobby, marble, no Google signs, no icons of apps anywhere. It just looks like a lobby with one guy at a desk. And you're like, oh, we're here to see person A and person B. And he gets on the phone, and he says, go to the elevator, hit floor 4. And then walk down the hallway and they'll buzz you in. So we get on this elevator. Elevator opens up. It's this white drywall, long hallway, no doors on the left or right. There's one door at the end, and it's got a camera, and it's got a speaker, and it's got a button to talk. So we walk down this hallway. It's just
that sounds
no
sci-fi.
windows, no nothing. We're
that sounds sci-fi.
I'm like, what is this? And we press the button, and it says, can I help you? Not, welcome to Google. Can I help you? Like, it doesn't say, I haven't seen one single Google thing in this whole thing. And they're like, oh, we're here to see person A and person B. And they're like, okay. And then we wait. And then click, the door unlocks, and we go in, and it's like Willy Wonka. So we go in, and there's clear walls. We're in this landing where you can go up or down, and the walls are clear plastic, and the steps are colored LEDs that are changing, that you walk up, and where you can look down into one of the, I thought it was the cafeteria. It was just one of the break rooms.
Oh,
and they had a foosball table, and they had all this plush furniture, and then you had to punch in on the computer to get your name badge.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
And then they make you a sign, like, you cannot take pictures, all the do's.
Oh my gosh.
And once we were in there, it was the place was immaculate, and everything's for free. Like, the break room had 2 refrigerators with clear glass doors stocked with premium beverages, Snapples and iced teas and all kinds of, and it's all free. And then the top floor was the cafeteria, and the cafeteria all for free. You just take what you want, like, because it's a perk of being an employee or a guest of the building. Well, and they had a carving station with roast beef and turkey.
What?
They had a brick oven pizza. They had 4 main stations. They had another station that was all high-end desserts, and then they had a coffee bar where they put the little face in the cappuccino. And the guy,
now I want to work for Google.
Oh,
I want to work for Google now.
Awesome. It was so awesome.
That was a great movie with what's his face? Owen. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Owen Wilson and why do I always forget his name? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
They worked for Google.
The algorithm that you have to solve a math equation after you're hungover to see if you're like, that was in the movie. Like, that was the shtick.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to work for Google now? Thanks, Matt. Now we all think our workplaces suck.
Well, do you see this little thing right here? Can you see what I'm pointing to? That little frame?
I can see it. Yes.
That's my name badge they gave me when I went into Google.
That was your Google name badge.
And it has the older logo. You want to see it? It has the
Yeah. Of course we do now. Oh, that's so cool. You're a Google guest.
And
it has a QR code?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it's
legit.
That's when I was there.
That was too legit.
Yeah.
Too legit to.
Too legit to quit. Please, Hammer, don't hurt him.
I'm like, come on. We'll probably get. Hey, I didn't sing it. Huh?
What's new and exciting with you? I've been talking about myself. What's going
Well,
on
I'm
your end?
supposed to talk about you because the audience needs to get to know you.
Oh, well, I
Now
love
they know
talking
that
about me.
you've been to Google. So now they're gonna think you're very cool now that you've been to Google.
Yeah, the
I just
ladies just throw themselves at me once they find out. It's quite a burden. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I live with it because I do it. I
Well, I know because I mean you've got cool toys behind you. I'm sure
oh my God,
they want to steal your toys.
I am buying the most awesome toy I
Uh
think I've
oh.
ever had.
What?
I just started playing the piano almost 2 years ago. I say just, but when you're learning an instrument, 2 years is like nothing. And I saw this thing where they have this little MIDI keyboard. So they're smaller size keys. It's a little plastic thing. Looks like a toy for a 9-year-old. Okay.
Okay.
But it's not.
Okay. What is
It's-
it?
okay. It's called the Lumi Keys keyboard. The keys light up.
Oh.
And it has new features on the piano. The pianos are 300 years old.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
About 320 years ago, they started making formal pianos. And
Right.
they've been unchanged the whole time. Even digital pianos that mimic unchanged for 3 centuries.
Yes.
Now there's more features because this piano has features where you can play a note
Mm-hmm.
and press harder and it will register the harder note. Like that, all pianos always have a thing where the velocity that you strike it, you'll have a soft sound if you go, and
Right.
then like that's been around for 300 years. Now you can play the note and then push down harder and it will register that type of pressure. You can also wiggle the key like this and it will bend the note a half step down
Wow.
or up.
Right. Right.
And
A
the
half
third
step.
thing
Mhm.
is the pace that you let up will change the note. If you let up slowly versus if you let up fast. So there's now 3 different types of things that you can do to the key press, in addition to the fourth one, which was how hard you struck it, which has been around forever.
Right.
And this thing can do all of those, and it lights up. It's
Oh my.
freaking amazing. Now it's only 24 keys. And it just came off a Kickstarter, and now it's available to the public. And I'm going to be one of the first to get the publicly built one. And
Wow.
it
That's
is
neat.
wicked awesome. But if the lights aren't on, it would look like a cheap piece of crap, but it isn't. Like it's a professional high-end MIDI controller that lights up.
Wow.
And
You're
I'm
going
going to
to
get it
love that.
about 4 weeks. It's going to be here.
Yes, I can totally see you loving that. So where are you going to play it on? On here on this
Oh, no,
great.
no. When I stream, I'm going to have a top-down camera on it. And
Okay.
then I'm going to do like a little lick, like say at the end of the show, I'll do Looney Tunes. Like
Uh-huh.
I could do that. And then you can watch my hand play the keys and then the keys will light up as I play them. Or the keys can be rainbow. And when you touch the key, it goes black.
Oh, now that's cool.
Or you can
I
have
like
like if you're in like the key, like the C key signature, like only the
Yes.
C keys will be one color, and then the other keys in that will light up, and the keys you're not supposed to press will be.
It's going to be good.
Someone figured all of this. Like, how did anyone think? See, that's what I love. Like, it's one thing to know what the technology is to make something happen, but
Right.
who came up with the idea first? Like, I don't even know how they
Right.
came up with that idea.
Right.
And you can
Right.
put string instruments on it, and since you can wiggle the key, it'll sound like a guitar, like wow, 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 wow. Like,
Wow.
it's amazing. So
Wow.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
get
can't
this
wait to
cool
see
little
it.
gadget. I'm so
Hey.
psyched to have it.
Well,
But
I
I
don't
gotta wait for the next manufacturing run because they're a new
Wow.
startup, or kind of. I don't know, but
That's neat. That is really cool. Well, I like lights, as you can tell. I like the lights. I'm all about the lights.
Well,
So the lights would be exciting for me.
Yeah,
So
I do too.
if you've joined us, please say hi. I know there's like 3 people on. They need to say hi.
Yeah, I'm watching for those out there. I'm watching the YouTube comments, and we're also on Facebook. I understand. So I'm sorry I
Yes.
can't see you if you're talking to me, Matt, on Facebook. But
Well, Facebook, there has not been. Well, Jax was on Facebook, so
okay.
we are streaming to Facebook as well on my personal page too. So if you join, say hello. So excited to have you on here, though, Matt. So anyhow, what's our next subject that we're going to talk about? Let's see. All things YouTube. Of course, I always want to figure that all out. Is it really important to have that cover photo thing?
Are you talking the banner on your?
The banner.
Yeah,
Yes.
you should have a banner on your channel. Yep.
That is a pain in the butt to make.
I know.
Can I just say, I've tried to make 3 of them, and they suck.
It's not easy. When people ask me, like, Matt, I want to be a YouTuber, I ask questions that you wouldn't think should be asked. But I usually say, well, how good are you with graphic design? Like, can you manipulate photographs? Can you resize text? Can you put a border around text? Little like, why are you? I want to make videos. I'm like, hold on.
Right.
I'm like, if you can master images, that's a big part of we'll talk about video editing in a moment, but like, you got to have yourself looking like you're put together. And so just simple things like if I gave you a photo, or if you took a photo on your phone, could you crop it into a square and then put it on a larger image with a colored background and put, just some people can't do that. I'm not knocking them, but like, if anyone's serious about going into YouTube, learn how to.
I love it.
Work Photoshop.
I have I use an app on my phone the most. I use Canva, but then I also use PhotoFox. Okay. My favorite. It's called Photo Leap now. They changed the name. It was, they've changed the name twice now, but it's a great program. Have you ever tried them, Photo Leap?
Well, I've been stuck in the Adobe world because I went to design college. I don't know if you know.
Oh, I did not.
I have a formal design degree.
Oh, nice.
And since I was in with Adobe Illustrator, I'm also an Adobe certified expert in Illustrator.
Wow.
Formal certification, and they ranked me the highest award that they'll have for that. And so since I've been with then Photoshop, of course, I taught class. Did you know I was a former instructor? I taught Illustrator, Photoshop, and at the time it was Quark Express, which kind of fell out of favor. I was those classes.
I don't remember that.
For adult evening classes at college.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry. I'm Matt. I can't see you over there on Facebook. I'm not hooked into.
Larry's actually in KC. He's a Kansas City dude.
Oh, nice.
He's like a rock star. He's a networking rock star. So, hi, Larry. Well, thanks for joining. And Matt is a YouTube, all of this rock star. I look at you and I say, I always think I need to ask you questions, and then I forget to message you, which I'm sure you get lots of those, right?
I love answering questions. People are hesitant. I'm like, you can ask me anything, especially around
look at your background. I love it. Like, you have all that lights and all that. And Larry, by the way, in April, there's this program called Lita is starting up in April, where you go live every day in April. So, Larry, I think you should join that just to get your feet wet. So hopefully you do. So I really like that. It's the Live Streaming Pros. So if you know who they are, and I am part of, and I didn't know if you knew this, Matt, I'm part of the Grow Live Academy. In fact, let me show you. Do you know who they are?
I heard you mention them, but I'm not familiar.
Okay. Look, they sent me my own.
Whoa.
Look at that. I'm a live stream master. I know. And yeah, they sent me brownies and they sent me this. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? It's Ken
Right.
Walls. Do you know who he is? Ken Walls. He live streams all the time.
Okay.
But anyway, he has given me some great advice and knowledge. So I'm part of his academy, which we have coaching calls like every week. So it's a pretty cool thing. But Lita, I know, does the same, Live Streaming Pros. So I will definitely promote them too, because they have helped me a lot. They've helped me to connect to some awesome people like Matt and all of you guys. So that were on here earlier.
Yep.
So
those that
I
are
feel
interested,
blessed.
it's livestreamingpros.com/Leda, LEDA.
LEDA, yes. So
I
we'll
can't
promo
plug it
both of
in.
them. That's why I was like, I'll promo both because they're both good.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to get into live streaming and you want to get your message out to the world, you need to figure it out. It isn't some people are like, oh, it's just kind of hit play. Nope, it's not so simple now, is it? So you got to figure out all the technology.
I call it time on task. If you do something 30 times in a row, your 30th time is going to be way better than your first.
And that's
a big part of live streaming. You just have to do it. And as you're doing it, you'll figure out what's working, what's not working. And
yes,
you got to watch yourself back. See, people don't do that. You watch yourself back and you have the most critical eye. You're like, oh, why did I say that? Or why did I do that? And then the next time you go live, it'll be a little bit better.
That's right.
And then by doing something a little bit better 30 times, you're going to be a lot better. Anyway,
that's right.
You
guys should do it. Do it. It's almost April. Like that's 2 weeks away.
Oh, it is. It's the 19th, isn't it?
Yeah. So you guys really, really should join up Lita if you're looking to get into live streaming, because it's not just live streaming. It's relational, it's connection, it's all of that. So that was what's so awesome about it. I did it in August. Yeah. So
I mean, you can kind of it's, what am I trying to say? I'm a people person. I think it might be obvious just by what you know. I love people. I love people. And there's people in the group and they'll watch your show. Like you'll stream a private.
Oh, here, we've got some comments.
Yeah.
Sha-la-la-la. I've got to say it right. I always forget one of the laws, and I'm sorry, Robert, I do.
Don't beat yourself up. Robert also drops a la every now and then.
Indeed, all things YouTube. Now, see, that's I know you guys have to check him out, but his wood stuff, they blow me away. That I sat there, awesome wood things. He also makes things.
Yeah,
like he's like one of those dudes. He's like a MacGyver dude. He's like one of them guys.
I'll tell you, since I've been in computers, for lack of a better word, actually digital art. All of my creative stuff was digital. So I turn off the computer and all my work, goes away until I turn the computer on. Same thing with websites. I build websites. So I was in this job. This is how I led up to woodworking. This is a fun story. Why woodworking, Matt? Well, the answer is
why?
Because all of my creativity stuff would go away when the computer was off. I wanted to channel my creativity into something physical. So when I make something in my wood shop, I turn my computer off and the item is still there. It doesn't go away. So a lot of the stuff I've made myself. I've made that frame. I've made this thing. I made the Pac-Man fruit.
So how do you balance all of that? I mean, because that can be challenging, right? Well, I mean, how do you, I mean, we all have our little boxes. So like we've got family box, we've got work box, then we've got hobby box. So how do you balance that? What's a good balance for you?
The topic of balance is interesting, and I will answer that, but a pre-answer would be that because I have so many YouTube channels and so many passions, I know if I would focus on one, it would accelerate much faster. So I know I'm kind of keeping myself at a slow takeoff because I'm spread out. But how do I balance it? It's weird. Like I'll get very passionate about something. Like I'm like, oh, I want to make this thing in the wood shop, and then I'll find little bits of time in order and that's what I'll focus on. Or if I want to really nail a good concept about being successful on YouTube, like I'll pour myself into that. And then all the while I'm practicing piano, and these 80s and 90s songs come up, and I just can't resist it. And I'm like, okay, well, this is the song. Like, I want to learn this song and I want to nail it. And then I want to do a video of me playing that song. And I'm working on the song I'm working on now is Gwen Stefani's from No Doubt. The Book Don't Speak is.
Oh, I love that song. Yeah, of
it's
course.
a hard song to play on the piano. Anyway, so how do I balance it? I'm kind of like the Pixar movie Up. Remember the dog that had the English translator? You could hear words he was thinking.
Yes.
And he's like, squirrel. And then he's like focuses on the like, that's me. I'm like, squirrel.
I can see that, but I can relate to that too. So with your family box, how does that work? Like,
okay, well, we're recently empty nesters. I am married. I have a wife, Tracy. She's not in the public eye. She's like, you do your YouTube thing. I want out of it. I'm like, okay, I respect that.
Right.
But so I have one son. We have one son, and he's in college. So, and then she works a different shift than I do.
Oh, okay.
So we're like, and you're like, oh, that's a horrible life. But you know what? No, you make it work. You make it work. And I think time to yourself is an important piece to make something work long term. Because it used to be, oh, I would put the boy on the bus stop, and then I would go to my first shift job. She's on second, third shift. She gets home. She can get the boy off the bus stop, bring him home, and then she'll go to bed. And then I'll come home. It was a way to just balance our life. And then it got to the point where we didn't need to walk him because he got older. And Tracy's like, I hate those bitches on first shift. So she didn't want to switch. So she just stayed on second shift. And it works. It works. So there's not much conflict with that, with the boy away and just the way we've structured our life. No, it's not that I don't do anything. It's easier. It's easier that way because we're on different sleep schedules. Not all the time.
Right.
And she's kind of it goes back and forth because she'll work every other weekend and a couple days throughout so she'll have stretches of time where it kind of resets itself a little bit, her sleep schedule. Anyway. So the family I'm taking care of. I do work a full-time job. Oh yeah. Now I work for a book publisher. So I do that full time. And then it's
I met Mark oh my gosh. Mark Victor Hansen yesterday.
Who?
Do you know who he is?
Say the name again.
Mark Victor Hansen. He does the Chicken Soup for the Soul books.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
I met a few authors.
I met him yesterday in a Zoom, and that was pretty cool. And gave some ideas about writing books. And I, since a little girl, have always written. I was a creative writer, so I have always wanted to write a book. And what's funny is in the last, I don't know, about a month or so, somebody's mentioned to me about writing a book, 3 and 4 times. And I'm like, I think the universe is telling me I need to write a book. So, and if everybody knows that, you start with the last chapter, not the first chapter. So you write it backwards. So that has been an interesting thing to learn. I didn't know that until I've kind of hung around some authors lately. And I'm like, okay. But, it's just picking that subject matter, that's you're passionate about and what you want to write about, and of course, do you want to do fiction or nonfiction? Do you want to do self-help? Do you want to do, what is it you're trying to put out there to the world? So those are the areas to sketch and write and stuff like that. So, and the thing is that I'm about to move to Florida. And so I just picture myself writing these books out on the beach. And that's not really going to happen like that, right? So
Can I give you some technical tips for your writing endeavors?
Yes, please.
Lulu.com is a website where you could author your book on their service, their web-based service, kind of like, Google Docs. You ever use
Yes.
Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets? It's like that, but it's lulu.com. And then when you're done, you push a button, they'll print the book on demand, and they'll send it to Amazon as a Kindle, and they'll send it to other bookstores as an EPUB. It's like
What?
it takes the file format and mushes it up appropriate
Oh
for
my
all the different
goodness.
spaces. One click. All you got to do is write it.
Wow.
You got to bring the creative stuff to it and write a
Right.
good book. But once you do, you don't have to worry about any of the back end stuff. Now you have to
That
bring
is
your own
cool.
audience. Like you've got to point people to it to
Yes.
buy it. Like it doesn't. It does have sort of a marketplace, but the whole point is successful people, and this is successful people in any business.
Yes.
They manage their customers. They don't like you can now. I work for a publisher, so I'm pro publisher. Like you could go to a book publisher, and they'll give you the royalty checks and then the stipend at the beginning. Or if you bring your own audience, you can self publish. Cut
Wow.
out the middleman.
Yes. I have quite a few
Lulu.com. Yeah,
friends that have self-published books. Yeah.
yeah. It's a
Wow.
thing. It's a thing.
Lulu.com, just Lulu.
That's it.
That's it.
Hashtag not
Thank
sponsored.
you. That was a great tip.
Hashtag not sponsored. Yeah.
Now, don't everybody take on my idea now. I didn't even tell you what I was going to write about, so you can't steal my idea. I have all kinds of ideas.
I can't help you with the idea, but I can help you with the mechanics of publishing.
Yeah.
And what is an easier type of service than, okay, I wrote my book, now turn it into all these formats, submit it to all of these online stores,
Right.
and if you want a book, you can print the book, and or if anyone wants a printed copy, they can order it and they'll print it on demand. So if you have 10 orders in a week, they'll print 10 books and ship them out.
So this brings up a great question. How do you think the publishing world, book world, has been affected by all of this massive amount of data and everything that comes at us that we're reading? What is a good amount of pages of a book that people are actually going to read anymore? I mean, has it? I mean, I've seen a change in it myself. I have all of these real books that all these books, but I do look at it and go, oh, can I read, like this book I have right next to me is about 230 pages. So to me, that looks like an easy read. Like, I'm like, okay, I could probably get through that and be okay. But guess what? I haven't read it all the way through yet.
Well, I think the answer to that question is there are people that will slot themselves into the whole spectrum of low pages to high pages. But in general, Americans in the world have been turning into a headline snippet reading society.
Yes.
So things are getting less and less and less. And even the buying model's getting less and less. Why buy the whole textbook when I only want chapter 1? Why buy the whole album when I only want the first track? Like that's what iTunes did. $1.99 a song.
Did. They sure did.
It's everything that has permeated everything now. Oh, I don't want to buy the whole series of television shows. I just want the first 3 episodes. People are chunking things down smaller and smaller. So really the question's unanswerable, but and some people love the long form and they'll always love the long form.
Right. I like the real books. I like to, I like to smell the pages.
Hey, speaking of real books, see this is the polar, I don't know how you describe it, the polar opposites of my life, because I'm in book publishing and I was in tech and book publishing. So I'm riding and we're doing electronic books, the whole thing, I'm cutting edge, latest, greatest. And then one of my web development customers is a 1 and 2 color book manufacturer doing it the old way. And they wanted a system to track the orders. And long story short, I built an entire plant management system that takes the order from the customer, tracks it through the manufacturing process with employees checking that job in and checking it out, and then tracks the shipping of the product to the customer, generates the invoice. It doesn't do the accounts receivable. It does the entire business model I wrote from the
Wow.
ground up, and I did it
Wow.
11 years ago, and this thing is running strong. And when I did it, it was to manage the short run books. When people, I need 1,000, I need 2,000, I need 5,000, because at the time, 11 years ago, there were 200,000 people would order 200,000 books, and they would ship them to a warehouse, and then it would go on sale, and they would pull it. That's the old business model. People aren't doing that. Now people want, oh, I just need 500. I just need, and so
Wow.
my software that I wrote, web development from the ground up, every line of code I wrote, it was managing the short run. It was 10% of their business. Now it's 90% of their business. I wrote software
Wow.
that hundreds of people use, every customers and internal, every day. They're banging away at this thing, making entries in the database, and
That is great.
it has remained 99.9% uptime, and it's mostly hands off. Last year, I submitted
Wow.
one invoice for a change request for a few $100, and it's basically runs on. Can you believe you can do something in your life that hundreds of people will use per day, and it is the way it is so bulletproof. Like, it does what it does, and it doesn't do what it doesn't do, and it's so rigid that it can never break. Like, it's so
Oh, that's
redundant.
awesome.
And yeah, this thing's been pumping and pumping and pumping. I just had to rewrite it from the ground up because the MySQL database needed to be updated to a version that they wanted to support for security reasons. And when I
Yeah.
updated it, it broke all the code, so I had to rewrite the whole thing. It was insane.
Oh my
It took me
gosh.
3 months to do it. And
Wow.
that just ended Feb 1. I turned it the
That is
1st of February.
crazy.
I turned this,
So
you know.
so question. So I know that you had submitted a video. What happened with that contest thing?
Oh.
Oh, you never came back and said anything.
Yeah, I didn't want to publicize that.
Oh, and I can tell, I can read your face because I'm a life coach, and I read
Yeah.
your face.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
reading it. I'm
I
not going to
won.
say anything more because apparently,
No, it's out of the bag. I won. I won.
yay!
I did. And this was a contest where they were picking 100 winners. They didn't rank them. You were either in the top 100 or you weren't. And
Yes.
I won.
Well, yeah, you should have.
And they said we're going to pay you out in 4 to 6 weeks. So it could be 4 or 5 or 6 weeks.
Wow.
And the 6 weeks came and went, and I was like, "Oh crap. They're not going to pay me."
Oh no.
And so I sent a message to one of the people that I got an email from someone that said I won. I'm like, "Hey, I'm so happy I won." I'm like, it's been
Nice.
more than 6 weeks. I'm just I'm not rushing it. I'm just like, what's the
Right.
status? He goes, I just talked to the contact. It's going to happen in about 5 days. And sure enough, I log in and I'm like,
Wow.
that number's a lot larger. 'Cause
Oh my God.
it was a cash pay. Yeah. So I won. Now I have 1099 tax implications for the 2021 tax year.
Oh no. Okay,
Yeah.
well, sha la 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 is saying something. Let's see.
Okay.
He's saying, phew. It's a 20-second busted. Yes, busted. Because I saw it on your face. Didn't we saw it, right, Robert? We knew. I'm like, uh-huh. And congrats. Exactly.
Okay. Well, Sandy,
That's
I could
awesome.
talk. But here's the way I run my life. Like, I'm not a big gambler. Okay. Now the
Right.
Haases, my family, they love to gamble, but
Yes.
that we like cards and horses. That's kind
Oh,
of what we do in our family, and some people like the lottery, but never to excess. Anyway, but super successful people don't play the lottery. They know the odds. And anyway, so I've always taken that approach. But that contest, like I invested several hundreds of dollars for an artist to make the assets to submit my entry into that and that was a gamble. That was a risk. But I'm thinking, okay, the contest requires a video, and I'm pretty good at video, and I don't have to be the best. I just have to be one of 100 best. Like, do I think I could slot myself into 100 to 1, somewhere in the middle? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend a few $100s and go for it. And if I lose, I'm out a few $100s. It's a gamble. But if I win, I'll get the payout, which was substantially more. And so I took that gamble. Like, see, to me, that the odds were winnable. Like, I could win it. And I did something else in 20. When was it? It must have been 2013. I think it was. There was another contest from my web hosting company, and they said, we want you to make a commercial with about our company, and the winner is going to get an all expenses trip to Los Angeles to come see the facility, and then we'll do some touristy thing that you can, like, one of 5 touristy things. And so I went on a freelance board and I hired someone to write a song and then to animate the song.
Wow.
And I gave them bullet points of what I wanted the song to be, because it was about a web hosting company. And it was hundreds of dollars to get this video created. And sure enough, I won that too. So they flew my son and I, who was 13 at the time, out to Los Angeles, California. And we spent one day touring the offices and meeting the staff. And then the second day, we could do one high profile touristy thing. And it was like, there was a show. It was the Book of Mormon. Like, that was a Broadway show. I could do that. I could go to some sporting event. I could do something else, or I could go to Disneyland. So I'm like, I will go to Disneyland. So so I went to but you see, that was the game. Like, I don't play the lottery. Like, the lottery is just throwing money. Like, that's one. You could you could get hit by, you could get struck by lightning twice before the odds or that you would actually win the lottery. But so I will make crazy, stupid investments, like the gamble. I would make bets, but the payout has to be conceivable. Like, and so that's how I run my life. I don't know if that's worth it to you. I don't know if that helped you. I don't know if that's helpful, but I did win. I did win.
Well, that's how I'm feeling about writing a book. And if anybody will read it and buy it, this is a gamble. It's a lottery gamble, Well, because I mean, there's so many out there right now. There's so many, and you just really have to come up with some good content. And that's really what it's about.
You've got the secret weapon that's most don't have. You're able to connect with people through video.
Yeah.
You're taking that course, or not the course, but you're in the coaching group, and you see, to be successful, it's not about being the best. The best never frickin' pays off. Look at through all of time. Like, the Betamax was better than the VHS, but the VHS wasn't the best, but it took off for other reasons. Like, you have a connection to the audience. That's what makes you successful. You don't have to be the best author.
Yeah.
You got to have a good product.
Yes.
And an audience, and you can go get that audience. That's what I love about the world we freaking live in, is you don't need anyone standing in your way to reach an audience, to sell them something, educate them, to inspire them. Whatever your goals are, there's no barrier. Like, if you wanted to do video in front of a lot of people, you had to go to a television station, and you had to pitch a show idea, and you had to schmooze, and you had to bribe, and you had to do unscrupulous things in order for someone to give you permission to be in front. Now you can have consumer level gear.
Exactly.
And if you have something to say and you're entertaining enough,
Yes.
you can reach a worldwide audience with no one's permission, and no one can stop
Yes.
you.
Yes.
So write
Get
that book.
'em. That's
Make
right.
it good.
I got to make it good.
Well, you don't have to bust your ass making it the most perfect book.
Right.
And then drum up that audience.
That's right. Good. Thank you. I'm motivated now. I'm going to do it. I am. So same with this show. This show is to promote. So what is it that you would like to promote, Matt? This is for your time to promote you.
Well, I am trying to launch a new product where I can give you YouTube consulting in a unique way. So this isn't any group coaching where you're one of 40 trying to yell your question. Rather, you as a YouTuber can invite me to manage your analytics in a safe way. You do not give me your Google password. Google has an inbuilt team member function. So you invite me as a team member. I will analyze your channel top to bottom and then score you on a 25-page scoring mechanism. I have a report, and it's going to say, this is the concept. This is why the concept's important. This is what I noticed on your channel, and this is what you can do to do better. So you'll have a remediation report. So there'll be this report, and there'll be a one-on-one consulting session after I do the analysis. There's a pre-analysis too, like you tell me your goals just real quick. And then I do the deep dive report, and I give you a face-to-face meeting where we'll go over the report, and I'll set you up with a remediation plan. So I'm selling that service. I'm calling it the deep dive report, and it's $100 off. So it's regularly $187. It's now $87.
Wow.
If you want that deep dive YouTube one-on-one consulting with the remediation report, like, here's the thing. Like, you can watch YouTubers on how to be better YouTubers, but you have to relate it to your own. Oh, here's a concept this guru's talking about. How does that relate to mine? And you can kind of cobble. This skips all that. This is the instant speed boost. I'll tell you exactly what you did, exactly what you need to do better on your own content. No fluffy, how does it relate to me crap, because I'm in your channel looking at your stuff. So you can go here.
I'm definitely getting that.
You can go here and look for the
allthingsyoutube.com.
Deep dive review.
Definitely getting that because I think I need to get it.
Let me
I know I need to get it.
Let me share my screen.
So if you guys need to increase your audience and you need somebody to critique, he is the perfect person. Absolutely the perfect person.
StreamYard.
Here, hold on. Add to stream. There you are.
So there you go. So this is allthingsyoutube.com. This is my website. And
awesome.
You come down here. Like, I have a course too. Oh, by the way, I have a course that's completely free. There's 32 lessons on how to be awesome on YouTube for free. Just do this. Yeah. But here's what
somebody he knows that and hasn't done it.
This is what I'm pitching right here. The deep dive report. So you go here.
That's awesome.
And this will launch Buy Me a Coffee. And there's the deep dive report for $87 while supplies.
That's really good. I mean, really, $87? Come on.
And I'm giving away. So the idea was I would do 3 of these at $87 before I make the 4th one $180, because this is going to take hours of my time to put together. And
buy All Things YouTube a coffee. So that's show me that again.
You say that again? Sure.
That was a neat thing. That was neat. What was that?
It's a tipping service.
What? Tipping service?
You don't know what Buy Me a Coffee? Yeah, Buy Me a
Coffee. Oh my
is.
goodness!
This is their logo. You should probably start seeing this logo all over the interwebs. But what you can do is you can buy me like 1 or 2 or 3 coffees.
Oh, I definitely need to get this.
A couple dollars, you know. Wow. It's a way to tip people. But they also have this extras. So I have an extra is a product. See, I have only 3 left.
Right.
So you got
That's awesome.
You got to get in on this. And
there's
then
only 3 left, people. You better get on this.
I did this deep dive report with someone else just to sort of test the concept.
Right.
And after she got my report and after she implemented my suggestions, 3 videos she published, okay? Since she got my report, she implemented my suggestions, video 1, video 2, video 3. On video 3, her average percent viewed went from 21% to 51%. I know that doesn't sound like a lot.
No,
but
that is a lot.
21 to 51, that's enough to trip the algorithm. That's enough for the algorithm to start showing your stuff up in search results, putting you in the recommended shelf, in the up next. So yeah,
wow.
We moved that needle, and it only took 3 videos after the report was done.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
That's a lot. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm definitely getting one from you. I definitely need it for my Stash Coach page. Yeah. And we obviously just started this one, and hopefully you will join me again on here.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
As long as you'll have me.
Absolutely. And we're going to have other guests on too, but you have such great energy, Matt, and I really, really appreciate you. And I know we're going over time, believe it or not.
We have a time slot? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're already over, but it's okay. But anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. And thank you all of our lovely Lita people and anybody else that joined us. And definitely look him up and do what he says, because he knows, because he's all things YouTube. So definitely allthingsyoutube.com. And Matt, hope I see you again.
Subscribe to the KC
I
channel.
love his little things. I mean, he's got the coolest little props and toys. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, yeah. There we go.
KC, anybody listening live, drop the like. Oh, I thought this was this one. Subscribe. I meant to hold up the subscribe. Yeah, go to here, but subscribe to KC. Anybody listening
live. KC, anybody listening live. And when I move to Florida, I'm not dropping the KC. I'm keeping the KC because KC's got a good vibe.
You could come up with a new acronym. It'd be like KICK. Something. We'll come up with a funky acronym.
Well, I'm moving near Clearwater. Maybe Kick Clearwater. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, Matt. Thank you so much for being on, and I hope that you come on again.
Thanks.
And hope to see more of you. And I'm definitely buying your analytics because I need it.
The deep dive review. You got it.
Yeah, deep dive review. So everybody, join us again, and we're signing off. KC, anybody listening live, see you later.
Later.